Hello everyone and welcome back. This is Midnight Mailman bringing y'all another match from my Great League Open tournament. This time against DrAwesomer, who has a team of Azumaril, Linoone, Medicham, Skarmory, Sableye, and Defense Forme Deoxys. Every single person I've faced so far has had one little tech Pokemon. Garrett having his Medicham, which isn't exactly super common. Aravelli having his Meganium. And then DrAwesomer bringing a Linoone to this thing. I honestly didn't scrim too much against Linoone. I wasn't entirely sure what it does, but I was really confident in what my guys do. And I knew that Defense Forme Deoxys most likely has a positive matchup. Probopass probably does pretty good. And Azumaril probably would suffer because it gets access to Thunder. But I was still pretty confident in these three. But not just because of the Linoone. Defense Forme Deoxys actually has a pretty good lead option against his entire team with the exception of Sableye. So that is why I brought both Probopass and Azumaril in the back. Because if he decides to lead Sableye, I can do an insta switch to Probopass. And Azumaril and Defense Forme Deoxys will do pretty good against the rest of his team. So I was pretty confident in this match. If I was afraid of one Pokemon, it was Defense Forme Deoxys. Because if that's a Thunderbolt Defense Forme Deoxys, I have no good answer to it. So kind of concerned, but let's see how this plays out for us. So leading my Deoxys straight into a Skarmory, so I got pretty lucky with this. And he does an insta switch straight to Sableye. I do it switch, kind of slow on the switch though. Not really that proud of myself. So he was able to get off a charge move pretty quick. A quick power gem doing a decent amount of damage to Azumaril. And I'm going to farm him a little bit extra past what I need. And I farmed him a little too much. And I was kind of concerned of another power gem. And it is a power gem. That would have left me pretty low. And I do a couple extra just because I made that mistake. And then I do a play rough because I don't want him to get off a foul play on me. Knocking out his Sableye and kind of in a weird spot because I do have a little bit of energy on Azumaril, but he has 2 shields to my 1. So kind of concerned. Out comes the Defense Forme Deoxys, and I'm going to try and get out a shield with this play rough. And I do get the shield, which was pretty nice. And go here, kind of in a really bad spot because 1-to-1 shield, but my Azumaril's dead, and I don't have a good answer to this Defense Forme Deoxys at all. I decided to go with my own Defense Forme Deoxys, just to see if I can pull ahead. He does have a decent energy advantage on me. And I just tried to see if I was ahead of him on energy. And I noticed that he has a CMP advantage on me. So I'm going to see if I can try and burn his shield with a Psycho Boost. If I can, then I'm in a much better spot. In fact, a Psycho Boost would probably kill from this range pretty close. I shielded expecting a Thunderbolt. I'm going to go a little bit past and then use the Psycho Boost, hoping that this is enough to KO. And it isn't quite enough to KO. So I end up using this extra Psycho Boost. And I'm kind of curious why I got to this Psycho Boost before he did. He might not have been thinking to try and make it to Psycho Boost. And then I see Skarmory, even with a shield advantage, Skarmory can't take on Probopass. So this is kind of GG. Because even that Flash Cannon, as y'all are going to see right here, it does a lot of damage. So slightly concerned, but I want to go ahead and burn this shield with this Rock Slide. And I think he was definitely presuming it was Thunderbolt. Get the shield. So kind of risky there at the end for me. But I was pretty confident that he was going to shield that to try and get the 2 flash cannons out. And Thunderbolt just seals the deal for me. So really close game. Closer than it needed to be. But pulling out the win. And give me just a second. So going into game 2. I was pretty sure he wasn't going to lead Linoone, and even if he did, I wasn't super concerned, so I decided to go ahead and lead my Azumaril, and trying to catch a Sableye or Defense Form Deoxys, anything that Azumaril really does well. It would be really nice if I catch a Sableye lead. I was kind of expecting it, but we'll just see how it plays out. This was definitely a risky play, coming out with this Azumaril. And then I have my Defense Form Deoxys and Defense Form Deoxys and Probopass in the back. So same 3, just different order. I do catch this Defense Form Deoxys. So not the greatest of lineups for me. I'm trying to catch a shield with my play rough. I do catch the shield. And then I'm going to do a really interesting play. And I'm going to go for a Hydro Pump to see if I can just do a massive amount of damage. I'm going to go ahead and let this Thunderbolt connect with me. It ends up being a Psycho Boost. So somehow I accidentally caught him with the bait. So I baited his shield with my play rough, and I presumed that he was going to try and bait my other shield with his Psycho Boost, and I end up letting this one go through, thinking I can survive. I did not survive, so this was a huge risk. I come in with Probopass, and this is a really interesting play. The reason I came in with Probopass, because Probopass actually has a pretty good matchup against most of his team, with the exception of Medicham. Not expecting him to come out with a Medicham right there. I thought I had taken his counter out. The fact that he brought Medicham basically means I lose this game. So he just won off of picking Pokemon, which it was so risky for him to do his double Defense Form Deoxys and Medicham against me. So he kind of just pulled crazy move out of the hat to win against me, and I went ahead and tried to and successfully knocked him down with counters. And so I'm gonna see if I can get off multiple Psycho Boosts against this Medicham. Shields the first one. I do get off the second one, and I don't think I can make this third one. So really, right at this point, I should have switched directly to what's it called? Probopass. But he ends up power-up punching my Defense Form Deoxys. So I'm just kind of hoping that Thunderbolt will do enough damage. I know it won't. It got really close, so it did its best, but he has another power-up punch. So I just concede this match, and let's see how I play in Game 3. So coming into Game 3, I was pretty concerned that he brought both his Medicham and his Defense Form Deoxys and Linoone, which all 3 of those do not like facing against Altaria. In fact, since he brought those 3, I kind of presumed that he might change one and bring one of his others, maybe. If he does, Altaria still has a good matchup against 2 of his Pokemon that he brought last time. So I decided to bring my Altaria in. And then good back is my Azumaril and Defense Form Deoxys. Between those 2, they have almost perfect coverage against his entire team. Skarmory would give it a little bit of trouble, or not Skarmory. Defense Form Deoxys would give it a little bit of trouble, but for the most part, those two can take out the rest of his team. So, really confident with this squad, and let's see how it pans out. So, leading my Altaria, coming in against a Linoone. This was a great lead for me, really in a good spot against him going into game 3. He switches into Sableye, I think trying to catch a quick switch from me, because he's trying to play off of my playstyles. And I thought about switching to Azumaril anyways, but I decided against it. I decided to try and save some, or get a shield from him and save a little bit. Probably after I got that shield, I should have just switched right away. Would have saved myself that second shield and then put myself in a pretty good spot. But even still, got a little bit of extra energy on Altaria, and I'm able to just farm this Sableye down all the way basically with my Azumaril. Knowing his team, I decided to just farm his Sableye down, and I'm gonna Hydro Pump whatever comes in. Gonna either catch his last shield or do a massive amount of damage to whatever comes in. I do end up catching his last shield and trying to make it to this play rough, but just can't quite get there. So maybe it would have been better to play rough twice, but I decided just to do a massive amount of damage to it. I decided not to shield this, just to save my last shield for Defense Form Deoxys, because if Defense Form Deoxys has a shield, it wins against basically anything in the back, because Sableye is out of the picture. So saving my Defense Form Deoxys for whatever comes in the back with a shield, and it ends up being his Defense Form Deoxys. So I do a quick switch to my own Defense Form Deoxys. The reason I do that switch is it's his last Pokemon, and Defense Form Deoxys is my last Pokemon, and I don't want him to have a good energy advantage against my Defense Form Deoxys. So, using this Thunderbolt, the best thing he can do is he's trying to catch my shield on a Psycho Boost, but even if he does, I think I still win if I just Thunderbolt straight the entire time. And he does catch my shield with his Psycho Boost, so got pretty lucky for him, but my Thunderbolt comes out a little too quick for him and finishes him off, taking game 3, winning me that round, and I'm going to the finals. So keep an eye out for my next video, and see y'all in